We're almost done. Hi everybody, my name is Kyle Cragle and I'm an artist at Cirque du Soleil. Salut tout le monde! Welcome back to Color Me Cirque, the Cirque du Soleil makeup tutorial series hosted by yours truly. If you've never been here before, my name is Kyle. I'm happy to have you here, and if you have been here before, then you are well aware that Color Me Cirque is a series where every week we are providing a step-by-step application process of some of my favorite Cirque du Soleil makeups. Today we are doing a fun look from Ovo. The character's name is Master Flippo, so if you want to feel like the master of the colony, then this tutorial is for you. Down below, as usual in the description box, we have included all of the details of the products and tools that you are going to need to replicate this look with me today. If you want to replicate this look with me today, then stick around because the tutorial starts now. Alright guys, so here's the look all transformed. I'm ready to show you guys the steps, so I hope that you guys are ready too. Here we go. First step. Today our base is actually going to match our skin tone, so I'm just grabbing a regular makeup sponge and a cream foundation that matches my skin tone, and I'm going to apply this all over my face, blending down the neck, but I'm going to avoid some of the eye area, especially on the eyelids. Alright, now that your base is applied and looking nice and even, we're going to take a bluish green color. This green color is on the deeper side, but it's not too dark, and I'm just taking this on a medium-sized flat brush, and I'm going to apply this in a V shape on my forehead. So the deepest part of the V will be right in the center of the face, and I'm sort of going to build it up, sort of like two mountains. It's going to kind of be bumpy and jagged and organic like a mountain range. So watch as I apply and follow along. So I found it easiest to build up the shape by sort of mapping out the outer edge and the kind of texture that I want to have along the edge of the color, and then going in and filling in and adding more texture in between the original little spots that I mapped out. I think I'm making sense, but listening to me and watching the video at the same time will definitely make sense. Alright, now that our darker green is laid down, we're going to go back in with the same brush, but of course a clean brush. And we're going to go in with a lime green. Now, I'm going to start adding this color right along the deeper color on my forehead. However, I don't want to overblend the two together, and I still want to make sure that we feel that deep green color. Once you've finished building up that color along the darker green on your forehead, you're going to continue this color onto a better part of the rest of the face in sort of a mask shape. Later on, we're actually going to add a deeper blue color around the eyes in a nice circle as I mapped out here. So I'm just drawing two circles around my eyes to make sure that I leave that space empty, and then continuing on my mask shape, if you will, around it. Alright, so now that we have things nice and mapped out, we can work on the texture of the bottom half of this mask. Now, the first thing that I want you to imagine is a line that will be drawn from the bottom of your nose out straight to your ear. That is the line that the mask will not pass. Now, that being said, we still want to have a nice jagged texture that shows off some of our nose and has a nice amount of variation. So if you imagine that line, just make sure that you don't go past it. Try to create a similar texture to what we created on top. Just have the general average line a little bit flatter across, sort of following the line that I explained, and of course following the video and watching me as a reference as well. Alright guys, good job. I would say that you have the most difficult part of this makeup already completed. For the next step, we're going to take the exact same size brush, and this time a blue cream, and I'm going to fill in those circles that we left blank with the blue color. As you create these blue shapes around the eyes, I want you to remember that this makeup is very organic. So similar to the jagged texture that we created with the green, a sort of similar rule applies to the blue. I hope that you'll be able to see it on me and see what I'm talking about, but the two circles are actually not completely even, and that's okay, and that's actually on purpose. This character is a bug, and he's supposed to be a little funky, so we're just going to continue on with that organic mindset as we apply the blue to the eyes. Alright guys, so this is our cream base all done, which means it is time for the infamous powder. Well, not infamous because it's a great powder. It's time for powder. So I'm going to grab a translucent setting powder and a powder puff, and I am going to lay a generous layer down on my face, literally everywhere where we applied the cream. Now, of course, once you apply the powder, the look is actually not complete, and we are going to take a nice big fluffy brush and brush off the rest of the excess of that setting powder. Now that that excess powder is as far away from our face as possible, I'm now going to take a nice contour shade and a big fluffy brush, and I'm going to apply this quite regularly as a contour under my cheekbones and right under the center of my chin. Now, as you're applying this contour, keep in mind that we are going to go for what's considered to be more of a quote-unquote traditionally masculine sort of contouring shape, and that is to say that as I apply this product towards the end of my cheeks, I'm actually going to angle my contour shape downwards towards the edge of my mouth and towards the center of my chin. Now that your cheeks and chin are nice and chiseled, we're going to go in and we're going to re-intensify the green colors that we previously laid down in cream. So I'm actually going to take a nice size flat brush, and I'm going to take a shimmery powder that matches the shade of our deeper green, and I'm just going to run over all the places where we applied the cream with the powder. Alright, and once you have re-intensified that deep green texture, we are going to go in with the same brush and a lime green pigment or powder of your choice, and we're going to re-intensify all the zones where we had that lime green. The only note that I'd have to give you guys is to make sure that you do not disrupt the darker green texture that we created. We don't really want to have a nice blend between the two colors. In this case, we'll actually prefer to have more of a jagged, sharper color difference. Alright guys, different verse, but pretty similar to the first. We're going to go in with the exact same shape brush, but this time we're going to go in with a loose, deep blue pigment or powder, and I'm just going to re-intensify those blue shapes that we drew around the eyes. So what I'm working on next is actually not a step in the makeup, but it is something that you may encounter while you're doing this makeup. Since we are using loose pigments and we are applying them quite generously, it is very possible that you might have some fallout under the mask or on your nose or anywhere in between. So I'm just taking a fluffy brush, getting rid of that excess green, and I actually just went ahead and applied a little bit of the translucent powder again, just to even things back out and bring back the skin tone where I want to see skin tone and not green. Alrighty, so for the next and actually final step, I'm going to grab a Q-tip and some heavy adhesive, and I'm going to apply this along the edge of our deep green shape because we are going to apply some metallic foil over top of it. So I'm using the line that I already created with the eyeshadow as a reference. It's okay to go a little bit above it, we just don't want to completely cover up the deep green color. So if you can imagine what the foil will look like afterwards, we're going to have foil, a little bit of the deep green that then goes into the lime green. So use the shape that you already used as a reference. Once again, this is jagged, this is organic. Apply it quite freely, and once you have this applied, we're just going to wait for it to dry down so that we can apply the metallic foil afterwards. Now, you're going to have to wait a few minutes for this glue to dry. If you want to speed up the process, I would personally recommend that you use a tool that's better than just fanning your hand, but hey, if it's all you got, use what you got. Alright, so for the final step, I'm going in with an emerald green transfer foil, and I'm just going to apply this in all of the places where we applied the glue. Now, as you can tell, I'm actually leaving the palm of my hand on top of the foil for a few seconds before I attempt to rip it off. It seems that applying some heat and letting the foil actually warm up on the skin helps it adhere better. So that's what I'm doing with this specific foil. The foil that you have at home may or may not work the same, but feel free to try. It definitely helped me out and made things more streamlined and more clean. Okay, so as you're finishing up this step, I have two little notes for you guys. Once you finish applying all of the transfer foil, you may have disrupted some of the eyeshadow below or around it, so feel free to go back in and touch those up. Speaking of touch-ups, if ever the foil does not work out for you for any reason or you have a lot of gaps in the foil, you can also take a similarly colored green glitter. Actually, you could do the entire shape in glitter instead of foil if you don't have foil on hand, but we use the glitter to fill in any gaps that we may or may not have in the actual foil, and this time I actually got lucky and didn't have any gaps, but it definitely is a step that you would use more often than you would think. Alrighty guys, this makeup is all complete. I hope that you guys enjoyed one of our shorter makeups. This is a little bit more simple, but this does have a nice effect on and off stage. We look nice and goofy, and now you look just like the master of our insect colony on Ovo. Alright guys, that is it for this week's makeup tutorial. I hope that you guys had fun getting nice and colorful and insect-like with me. And if you did, please let me know. Please show me proof. Post a photo or a video of the makeup that you came up with after following this tutorial on any social media platform of your choice. Anywhere on the internet, as long as you use hashtag #ColorMeCirc. We love to see what you guys come up with, and we love to see your replications of these super fun makeups. Remember, there are 2 rules to letting us know if you guys like this video. Big thumbs up and click that subscribe button. We want you guys coming back. We want you to be a part of the Cirque family. The bigger that we get, the better the content gets. So please subscribe if you enjoy these makeup tutorials. That's it for now, and I will see you guys next week in the next tutorial. See you later.